This is Lady Myya. I am here with Miss Jessica Phipps. We are talking, you guys, talking once again in regards to your health. So, we definitely want to drive this home because we want to give you a full understanding of what is going on and why. Miss Jessica, say hello to the Mayan tribe.
Hi, Mayan Tribe. I'm Jessica Phipps, keeping health in the conversation. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to talk about kidney health this morning.
Yes, thank you so much for being here with us. We appreciate you always. So, you know what? What is the why in regards to the kidney?
Okay, so the why is you're asking why are kidneys so important?
Yes.
So, our kidneys are important because the kidney has about 38 functions in the body. It has more functions than any other organ. So obviously, if that is the case, it is the organ that is most important to us because of the number of things it helps us to control in our body. And to give you some of the basics, everybody knows that the kidney helps us to remove waste products. That's like the big thing, the most common thing, okay? So when we eat and we drink, the phosphorus, the calcium, the potassium, the magnesium in our bodies, those are actually toxic to us. So while we need some of it to be healthy, it can't stay in our bodies. We have to flush it out. So there is, when we eat, what our body takes in and uses it to process for our nutrients, and survivability. And then the rest of it has to be flushed out. If it's not flushed out, it becomes toxic to us. And that is the big job that the kidneys do. It flushes out all the potassium, phosphorus, magnesium, calcium. It helps to flush those things that are toxic out, and the urea out, the urine, when we pee, quote unquote. So a lot of these toxins turn into urine, and that is what our urine is composed of. All the waste products from the foods we eat that contain those minerals. That's the first big thing. The other thing is that the kidney helps us also to balance the fluid in our bodies. Okay, so we have to keep the fluid in our bodies in homeostasis. We can't have too little and we can't have too much. On cold days, we need to eliminate, and on warm days, we may need to hold on to a little bit more to keep our bodies cool. So the kidneys is the organ that controls that. It controls how much you sweat and it controls how much you hold on to the fluid in your body. So our kidneys help our bodies. They're kind of like an internal thermometer, right? That says, okay, this is the temperature outside, or this is what you have been doing, and it would produce sweat to cool you down or hold on to the fluid that you have. It also helps to control blood pressure, okay? It's funny, it comes like the chicken and the egg. So while it helps to control blood pressure, if you have hypertension, you have kidney damage. And then it becomes that the very organ that helps you to control your blood pressure is damaged, and it can't help you control your blood pressure. So it throws everything off into equilibrium. And this is why it is so important for us to practice preventative health when it comes to controlling our blood pressure, looking at the sodium intake of the foods that we consume. Looking at keeping our cholesterol the way it should be, managing our cardiovascular health, because we want to ensure that we do not get hypertension, particularly from a lifestyle perspective. I mean, there are other ways you can get hypertension as side effect from medicine, some kinds of hereditary illnesses and things might end up with hypertension. But as far as lifestyle, we want to be able to manage our lifestyle as to avoid hypertension. So the kidneys help us to control blood pressure. It also regulates the hormones in our body. It regulates various hormones in our body and keeps them stable. It also helps to keep our bones healthy. I mentioned that the calcium is one of the minerals that the kidneys control. So the kidneys actually help us to hold on to the calcium we need for healthy bones, as well as it works to eliminate the calcium we don't need. So it has a big role in keeping our bones healthy. And as you know, as we age, bone health is really, really important. It's a little bit more complex with other organs that we don't really need to get into now, but we need to understand our kidneys play an important part in bone health. It also balances the minerals in our body, the same minerals I've been talking about, the calcium, the phosphorus, the magnesium, the potassium. And most importantly, it helps us with the making of our red blood cells. It produces erythropoietin, which is the part of the red blood cell that keeps it active, that keeps our keeps us healthy, keeps us from being anemic and feeling winded and feeling tired. So in some cases, we may feel tired and you're like, why am I so tired? I have no reason, I'm rested. Then you may be anemic. And then you can trace your anemia back to your kidney health. So the kidneys help us make red blood cells, produce healthy red blood cells that keeps us away from being anemic. It balances the minerals in our body. It keeps our bones healthy. It controls our blood pressure. It regulates our hormones. It balances our fluid, and it removes waste products. So with that basic information, you can understand how important our kidneys are to our overall health and well-being.
Wow, I'm sitting here jotting down. Oh, wait, I didn't know that. And so, it's so many. It's not the biggest thing in our bodies, but at the same time, it's the most prevalent thing that we definitely need to function.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, so with the fluid and the waste and different things like that, I understood that initially, they used to call it the body's filter system. At the same time, not understanding how it regulates that blood pressure and different things like that. Now, how can we maintain our kidneys to
Mm-hmm.
work properly?
Okay, so maintenance of our kidney comes again from our lifestyle. It comes from our diet and our practices. So basically, we want to keep hydrated because being hydrated is, drinking our 6 to 8 glasses of water a day, or as recommended by your physician, is what flushes the kidneys, keeps it moving. Because remember, as you urinate, that is what causes the toxins to be flushed out, all the minerals that need to be flushed out. So they flush out in your urine. So you have to drink enough water to make enough urine so that you have a vehicle to flush your kidneys. That's number one. Okay. Number two, it has to do with our blood pressure. In many cases, if you're a hypertensive, you want to keep your blood pressure under control. Hypertension damages the kidneys in that once the kidney is damaged, it cannot be rejuvenated. It's not like the liver. So if you damage the cells in your kidneys, they're damaged for good. And that is what decreases the amount of capacity that your kidney has to function. So let's say you have a whole kidney. And again, the damage happens in both kidneys at the same time. So even though you have two kidneys, it's not as though one gets worn out, you have the other one, and then the other one starts. They decrease at the same rate at the same time. So once those cells, because due to high blood pressure, it pops the cells. So you kill the cells because of the pressure going in. It kills those cells. And once those cells die, they cannot be rejuvenated. So therefore, you have that much less kidney function. And if you have less kidney function due to hypertension, then again, your kidneys are not able to perform all the various functions we spoke about before adequately. So one of the big things is if you're hypertensive, to control your blood pressure. And again, as we know, we control our blood pressure through diet and exercise, eating low sodium foods, low salt. And in many cases, we do get the no salt, but many people don't get the low sodium in that many foods that we consume have preservatives and are high in sodium. That is what, preserves it, the sodium. So it's about watching your sodium, exercising to lower your blood pressure, and watching also your table salt. The other thing that we can do to keep our kidneys healthy is, that keep us healthy. It's about not only eating the right foods, but again, about exercising. Exercise keeps us healthy in many, many different ways. Um, we need to be able to um, also take the right supplements that would flush our kidneys. Really important. If you are diabetic, control your diabetes because that again is another element that decreases kidney function. And this is why people who are diabetic or hypertensive are more prone to kidney disease. So controlling diabetes. Um, Losing weight is one of the things. So if you are overweight or obese, you want to get your weight under control. Um, Weight, again, is one. High weight or waist girth, obesity. If you don't have the right BMI, which should be about 25, you again increase your risk of hypertension and diabetes, which leads to kidney disease. And most importantly, the non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. You'd see them abbreviated as NSAID, and that's the Aleve and the Advils of the world that we take. They're non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, and those drugs also damage the kidneys. So you want to stick to the Tylenol side of it if you do have kidney disease. And even in taking those drugs, you don't have kidney disease, you want to minimize their use because they continuously damage the kidneys. And as we know, smoking and alcohol, they also damage blood vessels, increase hypertension and diabetes. It's just a vicious circle all the way around. But it's a basic, good, healthy lifestyle that would help us to keep our kidneys intact and avoiding lifestyle choices that would increase the possibility of us getting hypertension and diabetes.
Right. Wow. There's so many like golden nuggets that go along with that thing. And, we take it for granted because, albeit you don't see it,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, it's working hard and diligent for you to just be healthy. So if
Yes,
we can keep it healthy, we don't have to get it to work as hard to do so. That's
that's
always
right.
a plus. So you know what? I do have one more question. It's not medical by no means, just more so of just a personal personal question. So it's just like, okay, so I know a few people that take a lot of ibuprofen. And I know that's just one of those things, like you said, the Advil, you just don't want to take a whole lot of it. What would you say would help along with because the Tylenol does not seem to work all the time.
Right. It doesn't seem to do the job quite as well. I think, we have to look at there are other drugs on the market, as well as one of the most underutilized services is the compound pharmacy. With our physicians, when we go to the doctor and we explain that we have a problem, and I'm going to look at predominantly the fact that kidney disease, hypertension, and diabetes, which are the two leading causes of kidney disease, disproportionately affects the African American population, as well as extended communities of color. But when we look at the African American population and we look at the fact that this is a known fact, this disparity is a known fact, what we have to look at also is not using drugs like these painkillers that affect our kidneys. We can hold our doctors accountable for creating drugs for us. Long ago, doctors would tell the pharmacists what to mix, right? But we don't seem to do that anymore. They just, write a prescription for us. It's the difference between knowing that, and not to class anybody, like, getting a tailored suit or getting a dress made by a dressmaker because, some people, they would wear a size 2 top, but they may need a size 4 bottom, right? And if you're buying a suit and it's in one piece, you're not going to buy 2 suits, right? You're not going to buy a
Right.
size 2 suit and a size 4 suit to get the 2 top and the 4 bottom. But
Exactly.
what you would do then is go to a dressmaker or a tailor and say, listen, I need my clothes custom made because I need them to fit right.
Right.
What has been happening is that we've been going to the doctors, and instead of them knowing these things about our demographics and the fact that, we are predisposed to them because of lifestyle and other things, we're still taking drugs that are prescription written, that are picked up off the shelf, and nothing
Right.
is being custom done. So it's also about holding our doctors' feet to the fire and saying, listen, we need something different. What is there in the market because of this condition for us?
Right. And that's true because, like, if we didn't know, like, if you didn't tell us that that was even an option, then we wouldn't have known, So now we can hold them accountable. Hey, well, how about you do? I need something that's gonna, it's gonna kill the pain, but at the same time not be so, get you so loopy and different things like
Right,
that.
right,
Because
and not
I think
toughen my
that's why,
kidneys.
yeah, because I mean, a lot of people don't want to take medication, or they take a half a pill because because of the side effects and different things like that. So they're like more worried. But if you can get something tailored, to you, you're more inclined to take that medication that's going to be right for you because of the fact that it was made specifically for you.
Right. And, and that's one of the things, branching off a little bit off of kidney disease here now and talking about, medication compliance. A lot of people, they're not complying towards their hypertensive drugs or your diabetes drugs, because remember, again, as an African American community, we're not participating in clinical trials. So therefore, what is being done and the side effects that they're seeing, we're not included in that demographic. Our side effects are not being considered as a whole. So therefore, it's important for us, if we're not feeling well from the medication that we're taking, to report it to your doctor, not just not take it. Let them try other things. And when there is nothing that they can try that is already made on the market that they're picking up off the shelf,
Mhm.
say, can you give me a prescription to a compound pharmacy where something is custom made for me? Create something for me that would work
Yes.
for me.
So then they can actually take um, everything that they know about you and just kind of tailor that definitely to you.
Right.
I
It might
think
take
that
a
would
little bit of
actually be
trial and error. It may take a little bit of trial when they're doing it.
right.
You know what I mean? So they might do it this time, and then you might have a side effect or headaches or something might happen, and then you might take 2 or 3 tries. But overall, get something that is right.
Right.
For me.
I'd be like, okay, well, let's try it. Let's see how it works. If it doesn't work, we'll try it again. We'll try something different.
Hmm.
Um, I like that. I guess for me, I know with certain medications and different things like that, it's always just more taboo because it's just like, oh man, if I gotta go back to here, or
Hmm.
I look, my pharmacists know my name. I don't like that. Like,
No, we have to look at that as a good and positive thing, because if he knows your name and he knows you, he's going to look out for you. We underutilize our pharmacists, you know what I mean? Even in terms of your pharmacist doing medication reconciliation for you, because the doctors prescribe and prescribe and prescribe and prescribe, right? And in many
Mhm.
cases, they may not reconcile your meds. The pharmacist is the person you can go to and say, could you look at my meds and see what I'm taking? Are there any drug to drug interactions? Should I be taking all of this? Is there anything you would recommend that they can take off or be different? Your pharmacist is that person. And in many cases, we have relationships with our doctors and we don't have relationships with our pharmacists. The relationship is just as important with the pharmacist, if not more so.
Yeah, because they
Especially,
see it.
especially if you see different physicians, because remember, in many cases, if you are not attending uh, like a clinic-based program that is part of a healthcare system,
Mhm.
you're going where all your records could be seen by all your physicians, and
Right.
you're going to separate physicians' offices that are independent and functioning.
Mhm.
Everybody is not seeing the same picture of all the drugs you're taking.
That's true. That's
The
very
only
true.
person who is seeing all of that and to
Mhm.
help you manage that efficiently
Your
is the
pharmacist.
pharmacist. So
That makes
that's
sense.
your best friend. You don't
That's
just pick up the bag and go. That's your best friend.
Nope, that is your best friend. I like that. I like that. I mean, I get all my stuff at the same place. This is why I said they know my name. So, but that is very helpful. What other little nuggets would you like to give us in regards to our health as far as the kidneys go and the importance of doing so?
Okay. So when you go to your doctor, remember to, in that panel, you want to check your creatinine. You want to know your GFR. So usually on a basic panel, they usually check for your kidney health. So you want to always check to make sure that GFR is below 59 or your creatinine is not higher than maybe 1.2. Okay, so you want to check that. And when you look at your blood work, if something is high, it's going to tell you. You don't need to remember these numbers because, when you look at your blood work, if something is low or something is high out of
Right.
the average range, it tells you. You want to look at your creatinine, you want to look at your BUN, you want to look at your GFR. Those are the numbers. And if those numbers are out of range, you want to begin to manage your kidney health. In many cases, the nephrologist would look at that. And if you have a GFR at, you know, 40 or 50, they're not going to look at it as detrimental to your health. But in fact, you have kidney disease. They tend to look at it seriously once it's much lower than that, around 35 and 30, where they're then preparing you for dialysis. Kidney disease is a progressive disease. So if you manage it, meaning that you can't reverse it, but if you manage it well, you can retard the progression. And that is what you want to do. You want to catch it early so that you could begin to manage it.
Mhm, mhm.
That's the big thing.
Yeah.
You want to begin to manage it early in terms of your diet. And once you realize that you have kidney disease, the important thing is to find out the cause. Why do I have kidney disease? Why is my GFR where it is? Or why is my creatinine where it is? Is it
Mhm.
because of hypertension? Is it because of diabetes? Is it because of lupus? Is it because of me taking too much Aleve and Advil? Um,
Mm,
is it because of a genetic disorder? You want
mhm,
to find out the root cause, okay?
mhm,
And once you find out the root cause, you want to then begin to manage that root cause, that illness. You want to then learn how to manage it properly, okay? Because, we think managing our illness is going to the doctor and getting medication and taking the medication. Management is much more than that. You
mhm.
need to know about the diet. You need to know about the lifestyle. You need to know the red flags for the illness. All of these things you need to know in order to
Yeah,
manage it well. It's not only about going to the physician every 3 or 6 months, picking up the medications and just keep swallowing them.
yeah.
Okay, so you want to begin to educate yourself about your illness, and then moving on, keep check of your GFR, keep check of your creatinine, keep check of your BUN. That is what you want to do if you're diagnosed with it. And do not wait for the physician to diagnose you. You look at your numbers and know whether you have it or not, because in many cases, you're going to be diagnosed much later when you do not have the opportunity to um, to retard the progression. You would have
Mm,
lost the opportunity when you're diagnosed late.
mm. See, now we really got to hold ourselves accountable because, like, we got to do better, guys. We understand. Okay, now we understand more. Like, this is what can happen. We want to alleviate this whole situation because I'm pretty sure it's no fun having to do all this extra stuff because now you have you know all this happening to your kidneys and different things like that and having to go to dialysis or anything like that. Who wants to do that when
Right.
we can avoid it? We can avoid it. So if we take her steps and we just do what it is that we're supposed to do and hold ourselves accountable and be adults about this. Come on now, you grown. There's no way that you're supposed to have this disease in the first place. It's our responsibility to take care of ourselves.
Right.
So
We
I
do
mean,
need to take priority for our health. We do need to. We do understand there is a lot of disparities, but we also have to identify where do we fit in
mm,
making our health a priority and in understanding our illnesses and taking care of them and managing them.
yes, see. And I'm writing my notes down. I don't know about y'all. Y'all, if y'all not writing your notes, I don't know what to tell you. You're gonna be like, okay, I got questions. She just said everything in a nutshell. So now you need to have that conversation with your doctor so you guys can get this thing under control and see where where your blood work is putting you. And we want to definitely keep everybody safe. We want people to have their best life, okay? Because when you have your best life, everybody else around you have their best life as well. Because everybody
Mhm.
wants to hold on to you. So
Mhm.
definitely, so are your kidneys telling on you? Now we gotta ask, what is that story that my kidneys is telling you about me, from your doctor? Now your doctor can tell you, oh, you may be doing something too much or not doing enough. So now we got that full understanding. So Miss Jessica, if you can give them your information, dear heart.
Hi, again, I'm Jessica Phipps, keeping health in the conversation. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Better Your Living. Just as it says, simple habits can help you to better your living. I am a licensed social worker and health coach. I focus on disease management. I do this because I see so many people who could be so much healthier and they're not, because they just don't understand how to manage their lifestyle, are not educated on their illness, and don't know how to proceed. They don't have the support that they need. Um, and they don't have the basic information that they need. So my business is Better Your Living. I do health coaching, lifestyle management. You can find me on Facebook, on Instagram. Look at my website. I do have free consultations and programs that you can join.
Yes, and we appreciate that, Miss Jessica.
Thank you.
Certainly. So it probably won't be the last time we hear from her, because she always giving us the lowdown on our health, and we need this, and we need to be very, very empowered on doing so and keeping up with it. So definitely. So if you guys have any questions, if you she gave her information, and as well, if you would like to be on the show, please let me know. My name is Lady Myya, and my email address is Lady Myya, that's MYYA @gmail.com.
Hmm.
And we will talk to you, ladies and gents, later.
Bye.